twilight zone of boxing. For your witnessing, a story about Lennox Lewis and Andrew Golota. One man who has never been in charge of his own destiny, another who is self-destructive. Viewer beware, what you are about to see is highly unusual. Lennox Lewis, a fighter in search of respect. Occupation, heavyweight champion by default. Flashback to 1992. Lewis was awarded a belt that Riddick Bowe had thrown in the trash.
Lennox wants his belt.
After losing to Oliver McCall, he waited 2.5 years for a rematch, only to watch a mental breakdown.
Well, I've seen some strange things in boxing. That is surely one of the strangest.
Next enters Henry Akinwande, who mysteriously forgot how to fight. Another disqualification. Lennox still waits in the darkest corner of the ring, where the breaks that come to others and not to him. Just a walking distance from reality is Mr. Andrew Golota, an angry man who seems to carry on his shoulder a chip the size of Poland's national debt. Yes, he can fight, but some phenomenon forces him to box dirty. In his 2 disqualifications against Riddick Bowe, we witnessed 1 riot and countless low blows. Everyone knows you can't go back.
Low blows!
Or can you?
Goes Bowe again!
What you're looking at could be the end of a nightmare or just another beginning. Tonight, we may just find out if Lewis deserves to be called champion, or if Golota can fight cleanly. Either way, this isn't just a boxing match. It's a one-way ticket to the twilight zone of boxing, boxing, boxing. Galvanizing the public's attention is what Lennox Lewis has been trying to do ever since he first won a heavyweight title 5 years ago. But when opponents quit against you, and the other stars of the division aren't really interested in fighting you, respect can be an elusive goal. Enter Andrew Golota, a fighter with no problem attracting attention, but a major problem fighting within the rules. No one can deny his talent, but his reprehensible tactics have made him the most notorious, many say the dirtiest fighter in the world. Together, you have an intriguing matchup between 2 fighters with a rare opportunity to change their public images.
A lot of people look at Golota and say that he's a great boxer and he's got a lot of adulation around the world. So if I can take away that adulation and bring that to myself, I think a lot of people will respect me more.
At a news conference announcing the fight, Lewis gave Golota a brief lesson in clean fighting.
This is legal. This is not legal.
Golota's trainer, Lou Duba, took the opportunity to try to show that Andrew had already learned that lesson.
Now show Lennox Lewis where you're supposed to punch the guy.
Just forget this part, you know?
Though Duba can't cry about the low blows, he understands how important this fight is and which fighter will most feel the pressure.
I think the pressure is going to be on Andrew. I think Andrew that night, if I can put it this way here, is going to fight 2 guys that night. He's going to fight Lennox Lewis. He's also going to fight Andrew Golota. And he's got to beat both.
It's the most important fight of my life, you know. I've been training all my life, you know, not for a fight like that, you know. And it's a chance to hit the top of the world.
They meet at a critical point in their careers. 2 warriors with little in common, except a passion to prove the world wrong. An anonymous champion craving the adulation he's convinced he deserves. A notorious challenger with a bad habit that could yet be his downfall. Respect versus redemption. What will prevail? But Roy Jones, realistically, fighters get into the ring and do what their reflexes tell them to do. Is there any way you can train a bad habit this deeply ingrained out of a fighter like Golota?
No, you can't get a bad habit that deeply ingrained out of Golota. The thing Golota has to do is, like Lou said earlier, he has to win the victory against Andrew Golota. That's the first step to getting rid of that bad habit. Once he beats Andrew Golota, then he can rectify the rest of the situations, and he may have a chance of defeating someone to become the world heavyweight champion.
And some people bet against the prospect that he can ever do that based on what he did in the last 2 fights. But Larry Merchant, we've looked back at Andrew Golota's fouls in the 2 fights against Riddick Bowe, and there are some consistencies in terms of when this happens. A look now at a montage of these low blows.
Now, I studied both of the fights between Bowe and Golota, and 9 times Golota was either warned or penalized for fouls. On 7 of those occasions, it occurred in the last minute of a round. On 5 of those 7 occasions, it occurred in about the last half minute of the round, which suggests that it was either fatigue and or some kind of hurt and or some kind of frustration in which he really had lost his thinking process. And part of that credit goes to Bo because he kept putting pressure on him despite all the heavy punches he was taking. It was what certainly in my mind is one of the most brutal fights I've ever seen between heavyweights. And eventually Golota would just crack under that pressure, and Bo maintained his poise better. So the question is, do you make him get out of this habit by showing him where the trunk line is, or in some way do you help him with the tempo of the fight? Do you help him in training so that he doesn't get tired in the last minutes of these rounds?
He has had a habit of sporadically getting tired and taking about every third or fourth round off. It shows in his punch count output. Often he throws 75, 80, 90 punches in a round, but then sometimes he'll come right back and throw 40 in the next round. So obviously this man has a tendency toward fatigue, and as you point out, that's often when the low blows take place. Roy Jones, the average guy on the street, assumes that it's difficult, if not impossible, for Lennox Lewis to go into the ring without worrying about whether he's going to get crunched in the privates. Can Lewis completely put that out of his mind? Because surely he doesn't want to be going in there worrying about something Golota does that's illegal as opposed to focusing on what he does above the belt.
Well, he can put it out of his mind, but to be honest with you, if I was going to go in and fight Andrew Golota and I was a heavyweight with Lennox's status, his height, his style, his power, I would go in and do like Muhammad Ali would have done. I'd go in strictly to move, outbox him, never let him get close enough to land a low blow. If he landed a low blow, he'd have to reach for it. If he reached for that low blow and from out there and I'm moving like I was supposed to be moving, he would never have to worry about reaching for another low blow because that would be the last one he'll remember. But if you go stand there toe-to-toe and you know he's going to throw him and you stand there, you let him throw all his punches, and you throw yours, then anything can happen. A lot of times he may not intentionally be doing it because he throws winging punches. If you stand there and trade punches that way, anything can happen. That's why it's supposed to be boxing and not fighting. What they've been doing is taking the lazy way out and fighting instead of boxing, and this is what happens to him because when you do that, anything can happen.
And within that dissertation, Roy pointed out the reason for the excitement and the mystique that surrounds this particular heavyweight title bout. Not only the big question of whether the winner here can make a strong enough statement to merit an immediate challenge to the winner of the November 8 heavyweight bout between People's Champion Evander Holyfield and challenger Michael Moore. Record for Andrew Golota, 28 consecutive wins prior to his 2 disqualification losses against Riddick Bowe, 25 KOs. This is his first appearance in a heavyweight title fight.
You think he's going to hit below a championship belt now?
And Great Britain. Lennox Lewis enters the ring in America and apparently in sensational shape. The record for Lewis, 31 wins, second round knockout at the hands of Oliver McCall. Very quick stoppage. He was on his feet before the count was concluded, and you saw the knockout numbers.
All right, gentlemen. We went over the rules in that dressing room. I want good sportsmanlike conduct. Obey my commands at all times. I want a clean fight from both of you. Understood? You understood, Andrew? Lennox? Okay, touch him up.
Can the foul pole become a fair pole and become a force in the heavyweight division? Can the true grit show true grit and get the respect that he craves?
The stare down was good.
Stare down was real. They know each other pretty well by now, Roy. They had one of those lengthy press tours. They've spent day after day with each other. And it's a cliche, of course, but I don't think they particularly like each other.
I don't think so either.
Well, one has what the other one wants, and the other one wants it badly.
Who will land the first heavy punch between these two power punchers? Lewis starting off with a jab. Emmanuel Stewart claiming his fighter's jab is quicker and better than ever before. little bit more tentative at the outset than he appeared to be against Riddick Bowe. Lewis lands a right hand over the top. Lewis stands in the corner, and Golota lets him stand. And they spin back out into center ring. Right hand over the top by Lewis. Golota momentarily stunned. Left hook by Lewis. Golota goes down. Only the second time in his career that Andrew Golota has been down, and he is extremely wobbly as he gets up. Lennox Lewis has a tremendous opportunity for a first-round knockout here.
Yeah, I don't think Golota's ready. This is over. This fight is over. The referee's just stopped it already.
Cortez gave Golota a lot of time, but he has absolutely nothing as Lewis pounds him to the canvas again.
He won't make
That's it. That's
all
it.
over. All
Tremendous statement by Lennox Lewis.
A big statement. A tremendous statement.
He's been waiting for years, and it finally happens.
Andrew Golota had been warned by his camp that Lewis would come out quickly, but he still looked a little bit tentative to start out, as though he couldn't find yet the equation to land that good jab of his, and he let Lewis take the initiative. And Lewis, we said,
he got it.
Yes, he did, and it's very good to see Lennox back like this.
Here's the first overhand right. And Golota was hurt from that, and then the left hook. And Emmanuel Stewart has been saying all along, hey, don't focus only on my fighter's right hand. That left hook is pretty heavy, too. First knockdown coming here. And Golota just with no defense against Lewis's power shots.
Yeah, but you also see Lennox putting shots together here, like I said earlier, that he stopped doing. He throws the 1-2, came back with another 1-2, and came back with even another 1-2. That's how Lennox Lewis got to be what Lennox Lewis was.
You know, no fighter in the heavyweight division has had more criticism heaped on him by reporters, particularly American reporters, in the past several years than Lennox Lewis. But through it all, not too many guys wanted to fight him. Not too many guys were stepping up and saying, well, let me have a shot at Lennox Lewis.
Look,
and here's the reason why.
Yeah, because they knew the talent that Lennox possessed. It's just that he was hurt badly by the mishap on the Riddick Bowe situation. When he didn't get a chance to prove himself against Riddick Bowe, that hurt Lennox Lewis.
And every American critic presumed that Riddick Bowe was the better fighter than Lennox Lewis, but Golota's whole reputation was based on his 2 trips with Bowe, and off of this you have to say, well, how much was that? How good was Bowe?
Well, that goes to show you. And I don't think it was that Bowe was bad either. It's just that Bowe really didn't take this fight serious because he too cheated himself when he didn't fight Lennox Lewis when the fight was at prime time.
Another look at the intense first-round destruction of Andrew Golota by the thunderous punches of Lennox Lewis.
And that usually means that a guy is back.
Lewis and another chance to define himself within the division. Let's go to the ring and Larry Merchant.
thank you, Jim, and congratulations, Lennox. How do you feel after finally making such a dramatic statement, that the kind of statement that people want to see in a heavyweight champion?
Well, basically, you know, I just wanted to go out there and make my statement to the world because I want to prove that I'm the best heavyweight on the planet, and I want to consolidate all the belts together and keep them for myself.
Have you been turned from, I don't know, a big pussycat into a big tiger?
Well, I told Golota, welcomes to the lion's den, and you know, you could say the people were woke and asleep in lion, and that was me. I just wanted to go in there and prove my point. I wanted to go in there and get rid of him. Like I said, I wanted to get rid of all the misfits in the heavyweight division right now. And, you know, Golota was the last person on my list. And I basically wanted to go out there and hit him before he could commit any fouls in there. Once I had him hurt, just take him out.
Did he look tentative or frozen to you when it started out, or waiting to see what might develop, and you just got to him before he could figure anything out?
Well, you know, I knew what my game plan was going in there. I just wanted to go in there and prove my point and not really worry about him. Everybody was making a big statement about the low blows and him being dirty. I didn't want to give him no chance to do anything dirty. Just going to go in there and do my job, go in there and hit him. Emmanuel Stewart said I'm an accurate puncher, so I just wanted to go in there and prove that I'm an accurate puncher. Once I hit him, you know, I knew he was gone.
All right, we want to take a look at what happened in the ring again and have you describe to us, Lennox, what you saw early on and how you imposed yourself on Golota.
Basically, you know, I realized that he was a bit tentative, you know, with his punches. He was basically waiting for me to do my thing, but Golota's never seen nothing like me. He's never seen my kind of speed, my kind of accuracy, especially my kind of punching power. Once he got hit, you know, you see what happens after one punch. You know, he basically reacted in a negative way and he was hurt.
When he got up again, wobbly, you knew it was the end, didn't you?
I knew it was the end because I felt the referee, you know, took a long while with the count. But I wanted to take my time and I was very intense.
All right, Emmanuel Stewart.
We go back up to the ring.
All right, thank you again, Jim. Andrew, you came late. You delayed coming into the ring. Were you cold in there? Were you not fully prepared for the start of the fight?
I don't know what happened. You know, I just got caught. You know, it's hard to understand to me that, you know, why did it happen? You know, and what can I do? Accident.
You never had a chance to use your jab convincingly to do anything. Was he just too strong and too accurate with his punches?
I was a little bit too pressure, I guess. Too nervous, you know, and
you say that you were a little nervous because of the pressure. In some ways, did all the talk of the low blows inhibit you, make you less aggressive than you would ordinarily be?
There's a lot of things, you know, happen, you know, in the past, you know, so I got to disqualification. Everybody talk about it, you know, and a little bit too much, you know, but what can I do, you know, I can't just, you know, make guilty anybody else around, you know, because I lost the fight, you know, so.
You're saying that there was so much talk about the disqualifications that added to the pressure of fighting for a title for the first time. Would that be an accurate reflection of what you said?
Yes, you know, people couldn't believe they're not able to fight for the title, you know. Just happened, just accident, you know, not happened. And I'm sorry, Lou, you know, you spent so much time with me, you know. And you, Roger, you know, thank you, thank you both of you, you know, for a great.
We'll be back.
You'll be back. Great training, you know, and great time.
You'll be back.
But what can I do? I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Jim?
Not really sure he knows what hit him.
No, he doesn't. He's not.